Welcome to Talk to Him, a show where we discuss self-help strategies, music, fashion, money, health, education, and how it all links to financial success. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Shop Talk to Him and of course Talk to Him Jay. I'm your host for this show. My name is James Levesque. Talk to Him. Come vibe with me. Come vibe with me. All right, folks, we got a very special guest in the studio with us today. She deserves an applause because she came out here in traffic. She was, but she made it happen. We have the lovely Miss Vick Breedy live in the studio with us today. She is an author, an entrepreneur, self-care advocate. Vick Breedy, yes. Thank you for pulling up.
Thanks for having me.
Yo, highly appreciate you, man. Highly appreciate you. Yeah, man, listen, first and foremost, let's get started with this book right here. Stereotype. Folks, listen, I know y'all on FB right now. If you have not read anything in your life, you should start with this right here, Stereotype. And one thing I like about this book is I'm not really like a reader like that. I mean, like I read, but this book kept my attention. It kept my attention. And let me ask you this. What was the inspiration behind this book right here, Stereotype?
Well, first, I love black men.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to write a book about black men.
Yeah.
That was the first thing. But I think during that time, there was a lot of things happening to black men in the news. Mm-hmm. And I actually wanted to write this book right after I wrote Bitter.
We're going to get to that.
Right.
Yeah.
But folks wanted a sequel to Bitter.
Yeah.
So I put it on pause, and I didn't actually write it until 2018.
Yeah.
But I wanted to, and it was the most difficult book for me to write.
Really?
Because I did not want it to sound like a black woman was speaking to you.
Yeah.
And I write all of my books in first person narrative, so all of the characters are speaking to you.
Yeah.
And so that was the challenging part.
One of my favorite characters in this book, Stereotype, okay, is...
Let me guess.
Yes.
Elijah.
Was Elijah, okay, we gotta speak up a little bit. Was Elijah the homeless man?
Yes.
Yes, how'd you know?
Because that's my favorite character.
Oh, you know what? Because a lot of and honestly, after reading that story, after reading the book, right, and I'm not finished reading it yet. Mm-hmm. After reading the book, my perspective on homeless people definitely changed.
That's good.
Because it was like Elijah seemed like a very fly guy, you know what I mean? But except, people fall on hard times, you know what I mean? And however it is that, he was trying to find himself, but he was always clean, he was always clean. He maintained himself. He, he just carried himself a certain way, integrity, yes. Integrity. And one of the things that I noticed too was that you put black men are feared because black men are stereotyped.
Yes.
What's that all about?
Yes.
Because we are,
Yes.
Like where that?
The stereotype, is what kept us enslaved, mm-hmm. is what keeps us in prison. People. Yeah. Let me be careful. People tend to put people in certain boxes,
right.
And they live their life according to what box they see that person in.
Yeah.
And they interact with people based on how they see them within that box. And being a black man has mm-hmm. been –
mm-hmm.
derogatory when mm-hmm. it comes to being in the United States, I think I'll keep it there.
Yeah.
In the United States, you can be white and poor and still feel superior to somebody who's black and may have a different or a higher socioeconomic status, right? Nobody wants to be black. There needs to be something on the bottom in order for, you to, I'm really thinking.
Yeah.
There needs to be something on the bottom in order for you to, I'm just gonna say, live your life in a way where you feel like you have something more. I don't know. It's a superior, inferior type of mentality, and
Absolutely.
I feel like people, like the news does it. Videos do it. Sometimes we have videos that we put out ourselves that do the same thing, and we don't even know that we're, perpetuating the stereotype.
Absolutely.
And so I wrote this book, to basically have a vulnerable conversation with people, and uncomfortable conversation, and they can have some type of safety in just having dialogue with the character. And it's not good to stereotype people.
It's not.
It's not.
I think by default, we kind of stereotype a lot. I mean, like, because I get stereotyped all the time, which is okay, you know what I mean? But I don't put myself in that box, you know what I mean? People could put you in boxes, but I try not to put myself in a box, Okay, let's say, for example, people be like, "Oh, do you eat watermelons?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I'll tear up some watermelons." And I'll tear
I
up.
don't.
You don't eat watermelons?
I don't.
What? I'll tear up some fried chicken, you know what I mean? But, like I also like sushi. I also like, different things. So I think a lot of the times people do put you in a box, but it's important for you not to put yourself in a box, right? Let's continue to stay on this book, because there's another character on this book, Stereotype, that I was like, yo, this book is so crazy. Where I was like, there was what's the character's name that he thought he was about to get married, right? Sean, that's his name. So there's this character in this book. His name is Sean. He's about to get married, right? And I don't want to give too much away, right? He's about to get married, and all of a sudden he overhears this conversation of his soon-to-be bride having a conversation, because Sean thought he was marrying a virgin, right? But unfortunately, she was not, right? And this book right here, folks, listen, I think it should be a movie.
I like that you said that.
I think it should be a movie.
Okay.
Is that
I think
coming?
they should all be a movie.
I think, I haven't. So let me ask you this, right? Where does all that come from? You know what I mean? Being able to take those characters that's in your mind and just being like, all right, he's gonna go here. He's experiencing this, or he's gonna, you know what I mean? How does that come about?
Okay. So myself, I'm always somebody that, like, if something almost happened to me, I say, oh shoot, what if it went down this way?
Yeah.
And I take a mental note, and then when I have paper and pen, or I have my phone, I write it down, and then I store it.
Ooh.
And so, or if somebody's having a conversation with me, I'm always thinking about, like, what if? How can I flip this? How can I make it come from an angle where somebody wouldn't expect it, and still, give a message? And that's how I do it. That's not how I started, but that's how I do it.
How'd you start?
I started with this one, Bitter.
Bitter.
And I based all of my characters off of emotions. I didn't have names for them. I just had, like, emotions, and the strongest emotion was bitter. And I made that character do everything that I wanted it, to do, that I had enough sense not to do in real life. Yeah. And then I threw names at them.
So when I look at this right here, right, I look at it as, like, if you see the title, it's got on a ski mask, right? A shiesty mask, right? And then got the handcuffs. But is she, like, in a gown or something?
She is in a wedding gown.
A wedding gown.
She is me.
that is powerful.
Yeah.
You know, so because okay, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, right? And the reason why this book comes into play is the fact that she said, "Yo, are you bitter towards women?" Right? And I was like, and I thought for a second, I was like, "Yo, hold on, Jay, are you bitter towards men?" And I'm like, honestly, I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm really not. You know, I think women are beautiful. I think women are powerful. I think women are like, what? When the masculine and the feminine get together, some amazing things can happen, right? But I do think, you know, as a man in my early 40s, I'm starting to understand women a little bit, you know what I mean? A little bit. And there's a lot that's to uncover, you know what I mean? And as you're, you know, and it's coming from a place of like no judgment, but just like, oh, okay, this is probably why they do this, or this is probably why they do that, you know? And I was like, man, have I caused women to be bitter? You know what I mean? Is there certain things? And if I did, I apologize, folks. If I did, I apologize. I was dumb. Okay, I was dumb. I was a dodo. I didn't know what I was doing. So I apologize in advance. Okay, on talk to him. I apologize. So like bitter, right?
Yeah.
Like, is that coming from a bitter place, or is that coming from a?
It
like,
was.
Yeah.
10 years ago when I launched it, yes, it was coming from a bitter place. That's why I created a character, you know, to release that bitterness. It helped me it was like therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
Helped me heal, you know. But yeah, I was working through a divorce at that time. And, you know, my strongest emotion was I was bitter.
Yeah.
You know, I felt disappointment, I felt shame, I felt, you know, embarrassed. There were a lot of emotions, and I was able to make this character, you know, exhibit some of those emotions on my behalf.
Yeah.
But I am not that character.
No. I definitely, so okay, couple of questions, right, that I had. So how did you heal? What was that healing process like?
I think writing was like the first step for, you know, and I continue to heal, right? It hasn't stopped, right? But writing is therapeutic, like taking it out of your brain and then putting it on paper and then releasing it. That right there is therapeutic. And then also creating something positive from a negative emotion, like creating a whole movement,
Right.
Based off of something that, you know, on its face value, this is derogatory, right?
Right.
You know, if you're wearing something that says bitter, you know, people are gonna say, oh, are you bitter? What's bitter?
Right,
you know.
yeah.
And it was an opportunity that I took to create dialogue and to say, like, what's this bitter about?
Yeah.
You know, and this entire book is basically about what happens to you when you're bitter,
Right.
and it encourages you to not be bitter. It's not a good thing. It doesn't advocate for you to be bitter.
So let me ask you this: okay, because you've experienced these things, right? What would be like your best advice to like a young lady that's experienced that? You know what I mean? Whether it's heartbreak, divorce, failed relationship, whatever that is. Like, what is your advice to them for them not to be bitter and kind of like, you know, use that experience to better themselves?
Okay. All right. I would say I use the acronym JAG. JAG like the food that you eat.
Yes.
Right? Okay, so it's easy to remember. J would be for journaling. So that allows you to, you know, get it out.
Having a diary.
Right.
Okay.
And A is for like affirmations, positive self-talk.
Yeah.
And G is for groups, but that's more so like support. And I feel like that combination, you know, is like the foundation for you to heal. It's not all.
Yeah.
But it gives you a good foundation, you know, to have a strong little self-care regimen.
So, all right, let's go to this title real quick. I mean, not the title, but this art. I mean, the way that this is right here. What does this signify? It's like the ski mask, the handcuff, and then in a full-out wedding dress. I don't know if y'all can see this, right? People can see this, right? Like, what does this signify? Because this is powerful within itself, you know?
Thank you. So when I first came out with Bitter, it was just a black book with white lettering that just said Bitter. And then at the 5-year mark, I did like an anniversary cover. And I had my my cousin, who also does my videos or my little short films and my pictures. I went to his spot, and he took a picture of me in my wedding dress. We put the cuffs on, we put the ski mask on, and that was like a reflection of like the main character, who is Ava, and she does some things that's like criminal, you know, and the, you know, the dress, marriage, like all of that. So that's why we picked that outfit and everything. It's more so for the main character, Ava.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
I am not Ava.
She's not Ava. She's not Ava, folks, okay?
I'm just on the cover.
Oh, man. Yo, okay. You know what time? This is trivia time, folks. Trivia. Let's see if Miss Vick Breedy know her trivia. All right, here we go. All right, let's see. I'm going to give you an easy one. Let's see if you know. Okay. Name 3 black women who host a talk show.
Oh, okay. Currently, or can I go back?
You can go back. You can go back.
So we know that Oprah did.
Oprah.
Wendy Williams did.
Wendy Williams.
And Queen Latifah did.
Queen Latifah did, huh? Okay. Queen Latifah actually had Keke Palmer.
Okay.
I had Keke Palmer, and I had Tamron Hall.
Okay, she's still on
she's
right
still
now.
on. She's still on. Okay, so, one thing that you know how I know you wasn't bitter? I was like, yo, because you actually started a men's group, right?
Yes.
A men's group. Like, I don't know if this was that kind of sparked it. Why a men's group?
Okay, because I was already doing a women's group
Yeah.
called Selfish Women's Group, and it's, you know, to encourage women to be selfish with self-care and get rid of the guilt associated with making themselves a priority. And how many years in? I started that in 2017. I believe this was 2020 or 2021, I started the men's group. And it was only then because I had the capacity to. I didn't have the capacity to do it while I was doing the women's group. You know, we were going hard in the paint at that time. But when the pandemic had hit, I was able to kind of make some room.
Yeah.
And I had a few gentlemen say to me, like, when you gonna get a group for the men?
Right.
You know, and I was like, okay. So I linked up with Daryl Murkison, the North Shore Griot, and he agreed to give his time for free. So that's the important part. Like, I had to reach out to people that I know that are invested and will give me their time for free, because we all do everything for free.
Absolutely.
And, I had that with the women's group, and I couldn't ask them to do the men's group too. You know, it was a little too much of an ask. And so once he said yes, I said, okay, this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to let you do most of the lead, and I might chime in here and there, you know, but let them have your voice.
And here's the thing about that men's group, right? Because I actually I like to think I'm a part of the men's group.
You are a part of the men's group, and you facilitated our last group.
I did. And there's some solid brothers in there. Yes. You know what I mean? Very solid brothers. And I always think, like, man, like, I mean, there's other men's group, but like, I think us as men, we don't really know how it is to be kind of like vulnerable. You know what I mean? We go through so much. Right? We go through so much internally. We suffer in silence, because if we show that, you know, I'm going through this, people might laugh at you, or might think like, you know, you're soft or any of those things. But there's so many brothers that go through a lot of the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I always think like, yo, we need a men's group, because guess what? One thing I notice about women, right? If they're going through something, their homegirls is around, girl, there'd be like a whole, like, it's like, round up the troops, folks. Round up the troops. You know, Keisha's going through something right now, you know? But fellas, right, it's almost like we go through it alone, you know what I mean? And a lot of times, you know, brothers, I always say that's not a good thing. You know what I mean? You gotta have somebody around you that understands you, that probably been through your situation and made it and kind of could give you a little bit of guidance. You know what I mean? So that men's group is very, very, very powerful. You know what I mean? So that's an amazing thing that you're doing. I was gonna say that, like, what's your vision for that men's group?
Right now, I'm trying to build it. You know, it was hard even with the women. We were doing groups, and we're doing groups for free with the women. We used to meet in person when we had a spot in Malden, and then the pandemic hit, and then we went virtual, right? But in the beginning, it was difficult to get buy-in from women to take time for themselves, like even for free, right? And so you think about that, it's just as difficult with the men. Not only that, like, I have to do extra pushing for the men, because I gotta, like, not only do they sign up, like, okay, you think, okay, you give them something, they sign up for it, you wait for them to show up, and, you know, and then you have your group. Nah. You gotta text, email, you know, like, don't forget, let's go. This is your time for you. Well, this is 90 minutes in 60 days that you're dedicating to yourself. Let's go, get on the call. And luckily, everybody who is like a regular in our group gave me their phone number so that I can harass them. You know, and I believe once they're on the call, they're glad that they're on the call.
Yeah, I know. Right? I was like, man, and I felt the energy too. I'm an energy type of person, you know what I mean? And I go off the energy, and the energy in there was pure. You know what I mean? It was like, yo, this is just good brothers looking to just help other brothers, you know, and I'm always down for that. One thing that you mentioned, so you mentioned about the women's group, right? Yes. And it's called Selfish. Selfish Women's Group.
Yes.
How important is self-care for women?
Self-care for everybody,
okay.
is essential. Like, that's how you get through life. If your self-care game is whack, life is gonna be whack.
Yeah.
Honestly.
That's true.
You know,
So, okay, like, what's included in self-care? Like,
everything. Self-care looks different for different people.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a parent, you know, self-care might be some respite time. You know, if you're not a parent, self-care might look different than that.
Yeah.
Right? So it's based on your needs.
That's true. I like that. So do you find that, okay, here's my other question that I had. So do you think, is it easier to get men to, you know, pull up to the group, or is it easier to get women to pull up to the group? Or is it just like a Boston thing? You know what I mean? Or is it just like you know what I mean? Because a lot of times we feel like, yo, people in Boston, especially the black folks in Boston sometimes, we be acting like we too good.
Oh,
we be acting like we on some like superstar status and like on some, you know, and I'll be like, bro.
That's
like,
Jay saying that. That's not Vick.
Yo, it is. It's me. You know, it's me. Like, y'all be acting like y'all too good. You know what I mean? You can't even. People be acting like they can't even say what's up. They can't even like a Facebook status. They'll look at your stories though, but yet don't even like. You know what I mean? And I just want to know, maybe it's just me. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just me. But is that a woman? Are men a little bit easier to invite to the men's group, or is women a little bit easier, or is it just like a Boston thing? Because Boston is. It's hard to get people to come out.
Huh?
I'm not hating. I like Boston. I love Boston.
Oh, man.
But I've been in Boston for a little bit, and I'm just like, yo, it's like, man, you gotta pull teeth sometime, you know?
You're right. It can be discouraging. Men and women, it's hard to get buy-in. I think just self-care, you know, people don't prioritize themselves, and it's, they prioritize money.
Right.
And I think money is, a big part of self-care because it dictates your comfort, right? How you move. But if you can't, if your health isn't okay, and whether that's physical health or mental health or emotional health, you're not going to be able to make that money the way you could,
true.
if you were the
Healthy.
best version of yourself, right?
Yeah.
Can't show up to work as your best self
For real.
when you're not taking care of yourself. So I would say that it is hard for both.
Yeah.
I would say that it is easier for me to get women to sign up, but that's not show up.
Oh.
And for the men, we're still a young group. Pretty soon, I think that the more that we meet and the more people that attend our groups, I think that it will be something that will hopefully be automatic and they'll just show up for it. Because I don't know any other spaces that have a group for specifically self-care needs of Black and brown men for free.
Yeah.
For 90 minutes every other month.
Yeah.
Can you name any?
I can't think of none. I honestly, I can't think of none of them. Wow. I can't really think. I see you got, what's that? Genetically resilient.
Yes.
Genetically, what's that all about?
You know what that's about.
What's that all about? Okay. Tell me a little bit more about it. Because, honestly, I just started getting hip towards you. You know what I mean? But you've been out here. You've been doing your thing for a while. And, whenever it is that I have a guest coming on, I just want to do my due diligence and just make sure I come correct, right? And I was doing a little bit of research. I was like, man, Vick Breedy been out here hustling, working, you know what I mean? And yeah, like how long you been at this? For a while, huh?
Genetically resilient. I did that at the same time as the self-care group for women. So June 2017, I launched Genetically Resilient at the Black Market, which I will be at this Saturday, the 23rd.
Absolutely. Big shout out to the good folks over at the Black Market.
Yes.
Yep. So what's the brand about?
Okay, so the brand, if I'm just going to give you
give me a little bit,
mission, I can give you backstory and I can give you Genetically Resilient is for anybody who is going through a storm and needs encouragement to push through. And it's also for people who have overcome adversity. I like to say that my ancestors are my receipts.
Ooh.
When it comes to resilience.
Damn, that's deep. That's powerful. Because a lot of us is going through a storm or coming out of a storm. Wow. I did not know that. I didn't know that was different. That's ill. I like that. Genetically resilient. One of the quotes that you put in there is that it is when we feel our weakest that we must be our strongest. I thought that was very powerful, because a lot of times, just like I was saying, right? Because as men, I'll take myself, a lot of times, we go through things, you know what I mean? We go through things emotionally, we're figuring ourselves out, and we might be feeling weak, and we don't know how to handle that, you know what I mean? And a lot of times, some brothers, they turn to drugs, they turn into, whatever other things, other vices out there just to basically cope, and man, genetically resilient, something like that, when we're going through something, knowing that we do got a tribe, we do got our ancestors that's constantly with us, that's helping us, guiding us along the way, but we don't really tap in like that. We don't really tap in like that. And I think that's a great message. I let me see that. That's fire, man. Okay.
I had somebody make me this too. On Instagram, his name is Wood U.
Yeah.
Wood _U, and he made me this. So I like to rock my little, instead of a gold chain.
Yeah.
I have my wood piece. But yeah, I started the brand Genetically Resilient because I recognized the strength of my grandmother, who is the Vick in Breedy, right? So, and I started the group because I was, on autopilot, and I was a healthcare proxy or caretaker for my grandmother,
Right.
and I was burnt out.
Yeah.
Right. And so I started a group because I needed a group. And then I started the brand because I wanted to celebrate resilience. I was like, she's resilient. She shouldn't be here right now. She beat this, My family's resilient. I'm resilient. I looked at, what I've gone through and what I've bounced back from, what I like to call bounce back magic. And I was like, if I can get people to wear hoodies and hats and T-shirts that say bitter,
Yeah.
I know that I can get people to wear something that, on the front, it like this looks like it's derogatory, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
People are still rocking it, right?
Yeah.
Genetically resilient, that's a positive message,
Yeah.
right? It's an affirmation. And so I was like, okay, we're going to try this.
I like
and
that.
I'm going to try it out where my people are at in
Yep.
Roxbury at the black market and see if it speaks to them.
I like that. That's smooth. I like that. It's trivia time, folks.
Oh, okay.
It's trivia time. It's trivia time, okay? Can't be cheating, all right? Can't be cheating. Okay. Oh, all right, I'll give you an easy one. Okay, I'll give you an easy one. You should know this.
Do I get a prize? Like
I got you. I got you. I got you. What is the average shoe size for a woman?
Oh, that's hard because I have a big foot. So my family is different. So I'm going to say average shoe size is like 8.5.
6. It was 6. It was 6, folks. It was 6.
No.
I'm just saying. Hey, I'm just saying. That's what Google said.
Okay.
That's what, another one. What famous black woman athlete crip walk after winning the championship?
I don't know. Was it the runner Sha'Carri?
Nope. It was not.
Look at, I was stereotyping.
You were just stereotyping right quick, right?
Because I didn't know. I don't know anything about sports.
It was Serena Williams.
Oh.
Remember when she quit walking?
No, I didn't watch it.
It was Serena Williams. All right, so okay, here we go. A couple questions that I had, right? Do you think there's like, especially with social media, there's a lot of back and forth with men and women, right? Do you think there's like a gender war that's happening right now?
I think I see it on like Instagram little reels that I see, like that might just be coming to my feed.
Yeah, no,
not
just you, mine too.
It must be whatever I click on.
Yeah.
I'm getting that. But I don't really think that there is.
Yeah.
I think that's just the feed that I happen to get, honestly.
I think, honestly, when I look at it, right, and me and my friends, we have these conversations, I think like right now we're trying to understand each other. You know what I mean? We're trying to understand each other, but there's no like taking ownership and responsibility. You know what I mean? It's more like women are this, blah, blah, blah. Men are this, blah, 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 blah. Oh, women want this, they want, you know what I mean? And whereas like, we're all a little bit discombobulated, you know what I mean? And I think right now it's just really calling it a truce. You know what I mean? Like, all right, I messed up. You messed up. You know what I mean? We all need each other right now. You know what I mean? Especially at the times that we're living in. We all need each other. And I feel like, we definitely have to start having those honest conversations. You know what I mean? Because, family is very important. You know what I mean? That's how wealth is created, through family. Mm-hmm. And I feel like right now, there's not enough, like, I should say, black families, you know what I mean, that's put out there like that. You know what I mean? Of course, you got the Obamas,
Okay.
but like name another family. Cosby's. You know, like there's really not. You know what I mean? It's always like, but it's a fight. You know what I mean? It's a fight, and I just wanted to get your perspective on that. If there's anything,
So are you saying that there are no like role model marriages out there that you can name or
Cardi B and Offset?
I think they may just not be in the public eye, but there has to be.
Okay, name one that's in the public eye.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But you're asking somebody who curates their what they watch
Right.
on TV. Like I'm just not seeing the news, and I'm just not seeing what's on TV. So, I think it's the audience right now who you have right now. That's why I can't give you any examples, and I'm sure there are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have confidence that
I'm pretty sure they are
out
too.
there.
But can you name them? Can y'all name them?
What value does that bring if I can or I can't? I know they're there.
That's true. That's true. Absolutely. That's true. Let's go over here with this, right? All right. So take me to the process of writing a book, right? From the thought to actually putting it down on paper to, getting it published, and actually figuring out like a price point for the book.
Wow, you want it all.
Yeah, like just your process. How do you go about it?
I'll take you back to the beginning, where I took an L with the process because I didn't know. I just wanted to get the book out there, right? So I Googled, I looked for how to publish a book. Self-publishing came up. I was like, okay, I picked that one.
Boom.
Right? No real research. And they give you like little packages, and you could pick, like they could do your cover work for you. They could do your editing. They could give you marketing material. But the split was atrocious. The split was if somebody brought the book off of their website, was a 90-10 split, 90 their way.
Wow.
But if you bought the book yourself,
Yeah.
which is what I did, then it was better. I don't know, it might have been like 60-40 or something.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you could push it that way.
Yeah.
So that's how I began.
Wow.
And I didn't have it edited. I had like people around me. I was like, oh, this person's in school, like teaching.
Yeah.
They must know how to correct stuff.
Hell
If you
no.
can correct schoolwork, you can edit a book, right? You're a teacher.
Not everybody
Yeah, I
can
found
do
out.
that.
So that's what happened with Bitter. And then I actually signed on with like a publisher who was just did ebooks,
Right.
and they did me dirty. It was like a whole year that they didn't. It wasn't just myself, but everybody who had signed on with them. I had to like send a letter to Amazon because they went through Amazon too,
Wow.
right? To say
Yeah.
like, don't sell my stuff because under that platform because they didn't follow the contract that we had. So that was part of it. And then finally I just did it myself and was like, okay, let's go through.
Yeah.
I just went through, it was called Create Space at the time. Now it's Kindle something. And I just type it.
Yeah.
I have an editor. I use her. She edits it. Now she even we've gotten to the point where we're so familiar with each other. She plugs it in. I have my cousin, the one who does my film. He goes by New Vintage Media. He does my cover work. He plugs it in for me, and I just get to be creative.
Yeah.
I just do the typing.
That's dope. That's dope.
And then I send it out to people. I get a little feel like how this sound. I'm about to drop it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. Like, wow, I never knew, like, the whole, so being an author, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not easy,
No, you need an agent.
You need that was
Yeah,
gonna be,
you need a literary agent.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, if you want to go through like a big publishing house,
yeah,
yeah. If you don't want to wait, then you just do it yourself. And it costs money. Like I put way more in, definitely in the beginning, than I got out.
yeah,
It's difficult. Like you can't expect to be making a whole bunch of money. And honestly, I didn't have a social media presence until I launched the book.
yeah,
And even that, trying to build it. And then I did it off of Vick Breedy, and nobody knew who Vick Breedy was,
yeah,
right? Because, I'm Shantae,
yeah,
right? And Vick Breedy was a name that nobody recognized.
Yeah.
And so I'm friend requesting people under Vick Breedy, and they're like, who's this?
Wow.
So my author name is both of my grandmother's maiden names,
Really?
Vick and Breedy.
Vick and Breedy. Oh, okay.
So
Wow.
people call me Vicky. I'm like, no, it's Vick. But they feminize it.
Okay. All right. I got it now. All right. Yo, you say that you was an introvert.
I am.
You really?
Yeah, I sat in silence with you for a half hour before we started talking.
How?
Right? Is
I
that
thought
my
you was just,
introvert energy?
I thought you was just in your mind. I'm over here going through, what
Nope.
I'm going through, and I'm just, wow. So I mean, being an introvert, like I don't think you're an introvert.
Listen, it makes it hard, like networking, just like I'm good once I know you.
Yeah.
I'm hilarious.
Yeah.
But before I know you, I'm kind of like, and then I keep people in front of me. And I think the distractions are, like if I have extroverts around me,
yeah.
then you think I'm part of that. I got that energy, but no.
Nah. Okay.
So, yeah,
Okay,
it's
so
hard
that-
to build
Yeah.
introverted. Like you gotta come out of that, and
Yeah.
it's difficult.
Wow. So how's that process like?
It's difficult. I
You
think
doing
that
it.
I think that I would have been further along had I, had extroverted energy.
Really?
Definitely, because I won't speak to people sometimes, and it should be a situation where it would be maybe an opportunity
Yeah.
to engage with somebody and collaborate with somebody, and I won't.
I think I might be an introvert too. I might be,
Yeah.
I think most of the time, sometimes I be in my head, A lot of times they call it like, in the business that I'm in, they call it like head trash.
Oh.
A lot of times when you're like, you're afraid to ask somebody, or I wouldn't say afraid, but you're kind of like, oh, what is this person gonna think? Or are they gonna turn me down? Just that fear of rejection.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah.
I'm real confident.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
So how you gonna be an introvert and
I'm real confident. That comes easy.
Really?
But I'm standoffish, and that's hard for business.
So is that you being bougie?
I don't think it is,
Bourgeois?
but I think that people mistake it for that. Yeah. But if you know me, I'm kind,
Yeah.
I'm giving, I'm warm, but it takes me a minute to warm up to
Warm
you.
up.
So.
I got you. Okay, so all right. Got a couple more questions, right? If you were to describe yourself in 3 words, what would they be?
Resilient. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I know that's not good for video.
I know. Go ahead. You're good. We got
I'm
time.
thinking
Yeah.
resilient. Let's see. Loyal and loving.
Resilient, loyal, and loving. RLL. Okay, I like that. Resilient, loyal, and loving. That's smooth. I like that. So, do you got any more books coming out?
Yep. Writing one right now.
Really? Oh,
Yep.
I can't wait to read.
Head trash might be a chapter. Don't sleep. You said it. I'm like, oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, we
you
got.
You see how it goes in? I'm
Yeah, like-
you asked me what was my, my thought. I'd be like, oh, I hear something, I think of something, or
Yeah,
head trash.
I go through it a lot, Especially in the business that I'm in, it's always a numbers game. You know, so I go through a lot of no's to get like a yes. But when you finally get that yes, you're like, oh, word, yes, this is dope. So, but in that meantime, you do go, you know, you're always in your head. I know I am. You know what I mean? I'm constantly in my head, and a lot of times, you know what's helped me?
What?
Meditation and yoga.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It allows me to just be like, yo, Jay, just go ahead, just do your thing. You know what I mean?
You say that? You say, yo, Jay, go ahead, just do your thing.
On my inside voice. You know what I mean? My inside voice would be like, yo, Jay, come on, stop being shook. You know what I mean? Stop being scared, you know? And then I'll, you know, whether it's a phone call, whether it's, you know, just talking to somebody, whether it's, you know, asking, yo, what's up? Can you pull up on my podcast real quick? Oh, you know what I mean? Just that fear of rejection sometimes, it you know, like now I'm at the point, it's like, all right, it's whatever. I don't really care. But at first, you know, it was, yeah, you kind of like, man, okay, it's like, sometimes it'll be like people that you respect too, and that you expect to be like, yo, what's up? You know, we friends, blah, 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 we knowing each other, and then they diss you. I'm like, damn, that hurts even more. You know, okay, this was one of my questions, right? Has there been people that you expect to support you throughout your journey that didn't?
Yeah.
Really?
I can't say who it was.
Don't say. You ain't gotta say. You ain't gotta say no names.
It wasn't a friend. It wasn't a family member.
Yeah.
It was somebody close.
Wow. Really? How'd that make you feel? How was that? Because sometimes when that happens to me, I be like, damn, man, like I wouldn't do that to you. You know what I mean? If you got something going on, of course I'm gonna show love because that's just, you know. But like, how did that make you feel?
We're no longer in each other's company.
Oh, so it was a boo thing.
I didn't say that.
Oh, my bad. My bad. My bad.
I didn't say that. You said that.
My bad. Okay. Let's go to a trivia time. Let's go to a trivia. Right? Let's go. Okay, here we go. Let's do a trivia. All right. This is going to be a little bit stereotype.
All right.
Name 3 fried chicken stores in Boston.
I don't do fried chicken.
But you know, okay, all right.
I don't eat anything on bone. I don't do fried chicken. It has to be boneless, skinless for me. So
okay, but can you name?
I can't name. I don't live in Boston. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, bourgeois. Okay.
Can we change
Kentucky
the area?
Fried Chicken.
Okay.
Popeyes.
Oh, okay.
And New York style chicken.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't name.
Okay. All right, my final question, right? How do people get in touch with you and purchase your book? Like, through you?
Everything is on vickbreedy.com. All of my social media handles are Vick Breedy on Facebook, Vick Breedy on, what else? Instagram, Vick Breedy on Threads. What else is there? TikTok. I just use that to make videos. I don't really be on there.
Yeah.
But vickbreedy.com is where you can get everything. Or Amazon for my books.
Yeah, okay.
And Frugal Bookstore.
Frugal Bookstore.
And Roxbury. You can get my books.
Dope. Vick Breedy, thank you so much for pulling up. Yo, I got some gifts.
Oh, that's my prize?
Yeah, I came through with some gifts. You know,
Appreciate
thank you so much.
you.
I came through
Do
with
I
some
open
gifts.
it here or do I wait?
No. You don't have to open it here. You know, I just
wait.
wanted to. But yo, folks, listen. I'm currently reading this book right now, Stereotype. But I'm also, you know, I got a lot of things that's going on right now. So I got to make sure I finish this book. Also, you got to get this Bitter as well, too. Bitter. And then, of course, this one, Selfish Woman's Group. All right, Selfish Woman's Group. We got to definitely support Miss Vick Breedy. Any final words?
Be selfish with self-care.
Be selfish with self-care. That's the motto for 2024. Be selfish with self-care. I'm going to take that because I got to make sure I take care of me first. You know what I mean? Yo, Vic, thank you so much for pulling up.
Appreciate you.
Highly appreciate you. You're phenomenal.
Thank you.
Keep doing your thing, man. Keep doing your thing. I'm cheering you on.
Yeah.
You got, supporter right here. This your main man, Jay. Thank you so much for tuning in. Live, love, light. I'll holla. Peace and blessings. All right. Oh, we got some people watching too. What up, though?
Go on there.
What up, though?